Lord, remove me out of the way and you become the way, Father God. Let something be said here today, Lord, to help somebody, Father God. Even if there's somebody as me, Father. We say thank you right now. Lord, thank you for things being as well as they are, Father God. We say thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord, for giving us a heart and mind to come out to the house of worship just one more time. Thank you, Father. And Lord, we ask for these same blessings, Father, as we depart this place on today, Father. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All praises be to our Heavenly Father. To Jesus Christ, who is my elder brother. To the Holy Spirit, who is our comfort. The recognition to our great pastor in his absence, Rev Lamberth. To the clergy that are doing the work with me, Dr. Bledsoe and Minister Miller. To the deacon board, to the usher board, to the mother board, to the choir, and to each of you that make up this beautiful congregation. Y'all know what I say every time I get up. Truly, it is a blessing to see each of you. And a blessing to be able to be seen. It's a blessing to be here this morning.
All right.
It's a blessing to be up and being able to speak, to be able to have the activity of your limbs. We just say thank you this morning to God for everything. I'd like to acknowledge my mother, who is here with me today, who is with me most of the time I get up in front of her. To my son, Kingston, who's with me. If I'm not by myself 9 times out of 10, you're going to see Kingston with me.
All right.
And the funny thing is, he didn't stand with Mama Elizabeth since school is out. And I said, my mama gonna turn my son into a senior citizen. We were riding down the road the other day, and he was back in the back seat singing Happy Trail, Happy Trail. He said, Daddy, you know that song? I said, you been over there watching Roy Rogers. Yeah, I know the song. We happened to be over there one morning by the time The Price is Right came on. And I really wouldn't, I didn't think he was paying any attention. And all of a sudden he hollered out, Grandma. She was in the kitchen. He said, these people overbid just like the ones yesterday. And she run out the kitchen, she said, Dad! Yes, man. I'm like, man, I got a 7-year-old who's gonna be 65 on this next birthday. But I tell you one thing, ain't nothing like Grandma. And ain't nothing like having your grandmama and your mama being able to watch your children. Because if you've been able to watch the news lately, there's some terrible things going on. There's some terrible things going on to young children. But I like to say that today is a good day. Today is a good day to be saved if you don't already have it. Today is the best day to be saved. Now I promise not to be up before you long today. But if you would, please go with me to Psalm 137, 1 through 4. Psalm 137, 1 through 4. Psalms 137, 1 through 4. And it reads as follows. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's songs in a strange land? You may be seated. And one of those things, one of those mornings, so I had a whole other message planned out. I mean, an entire message planned out. I started going over it yesterday. And I got up this morning, this message was in my spirit yesterday, but I didn't want to do it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I said, sure that I don't want to do it. So I picked out something else, but this morning it came back to me and said, you're going to do what I tell you to do. Right now. And I got to thinking about it. I said, there's stuff going on. Young man I grew up with, known him my whole life, under 40 years old, lost his life in a car accident this week. A young lady who I had the privilege of teaching English to when she was in the 9th grade was shot and killed this week. A young baby from Texas, her remains were found in Arkansas. I said, Lord, there's a lot of stuff going on. And you can wait at the bus stop and be shocked for no apparent reason. There's a lot of stuff going on. And very briefly, I would like to talk about what happened to your son. What happened to your son? Babylon was a bad scene for the children of Israel. They found themselves there not as willing guests, but as unwilling prisoners of war. Jerusalem fell to Babylon in 586 BC. Immediately following Israel's great defeat, a significant number of Judah's most able and productive citizens were exiled. Not only were they were exiled to a land that had no regard for their God. For a moment, I want you to take a trip in your mind's eye to a different place in time. I want you to picture these Israelites in their predicament, a people in a predicament of pain, nothing like yours or mine. Nothing like anything we've experienced or could have ever imagined. Just try to imagine for a moment the drastic turn that the lives of these people were taking. These are an African people who, for the most part, are shepherds. They are relatively peaceful people, and they are people who love music. Music permeates the very fabric of their lives. They sing when a new life is conceived. They sing when a new baby is born. They sing while they work. They sing as they play. They are famous for their rhyming and their rapping. Some of you may understand why I'm going with this. Just bear with me. They sing at weddings and they sing at funerals. Some of them sing out their sermons. Some of them sing out their prayers. They love music. As I stated, music permeates the very fabric of their lives. They go into church singing, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. All ye lands, serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Psalms 100, 1 through 2. And drums. You haven't heard drums until you've heard these people on the drums. Drums to help keep the beat and the rhythm of their daily communal life. They have drums for church, drums for play, drums for conversation, drums for warnings of danger. They have talking drums, male and female drums. And some drums you can hear in the summertime when the weather is warm, sort of beating out the beat that makes even the most unrhythmic person want to start moving. Music permeates every fabric of their lives. And dance. You haven't seen the people dance until you've seen these people dance. They just make up moves on the spur of the moment, unchoreographed, unrehearsed, and right in rhythm. Music is like the air that surrounds every living thing for them. They are engulfed by music from the cradle to the grave. They make up impromptu songs to celebrate everything and anything, from a victory in battle to a religious processional and even childbearing. These people love music and they love life. They love the deep things of life and the simple things of life, the things that gave life meaning and the things that make life beautiful. These are a profound people, a proud people, a praying people. It was these people who built the pyramids, and us, with all of our sophistication and education, still can't figure out how the pyramids were built. It was these people who created the first cultures and developed the first civilizations on earth. It was these people with their black skin and woolly hair who gave the world Pythagorean mathematics, Epicurean materialism, Platonic idealism, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. These are profound people, a proud people, a praying people. You may recognize these people. But something has happened to these proud people. Suddenly they find themselves captured and in exile. They suddenly find themselves no longer the masters of their own fate, but now they are the spoils of war. And they find themselves subject to the demands of their oppressors. They are robbed of their way of life. No longer are they in control of their daily activities. No longer are they able to sleep as husbands and wives, parents and children. And in most places, no longer are they even considered to be human beings. They are looked upon as things and pieces of property. They are now toys to be played with, but never equals to be talked to. They are now pieces to lie with, but never persons to be reckoned with or reconciled to. They are now animals, nobodies, nothings less than fully human, 3/5 of a person. In exile, they are made fun of and mated like cattle. The song they sing sounds like a song now that comes from the bowels of exile. Something like, sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. As if being exiled and tormented wasn't enough, their capturers required of them a song. You mean to tell me that after all you've done to me, now you want me to sing? After you talked about me like a dog behind my back, now you want me to pray for you? After you borrowed money and never paid me back, you mean to tell me now you have the gall to some more. After you lied on me and scandalized my name, now you've got the audacity to expect me to treat you like nothing has ever happened. You're putting me in a strange place. You're putting me in a foreign land. So how can I sing a song to the Lord in a foreign land? The Babylonians were making a mockery of the Israelites and their God by asking them to sing the song of Zion. Sing us one of those songs that y'all like to sing. You know, to the God that was supposed to protect you, but allowed you to be captured. To the God that was supposed to provide your every need, but delivered you into our hands. To the God that you go to church and worship on Sunday mornings. But every month you're praying that you have enough money to cover your monthly bills. Yes, that God. Where is he now? Has he forgotten about you? What father would willingly let his children fall into such turmoil? But what non-godly folks fail to realize is that God doesn't cause the tragedy, but he can bring triumph out of the tragedy. As long as man has a free will spirit, there's always another force that man can yield to besides God. And because not everyone is a servant of the true and living God, bad things sometimes happen to godly people. Sometimes things happen and we wonder, God, how could you let this be? God, where were you in the midst of? God says, I'm always there. But everybody doesn't serve me like you do. Everybody doesn't fear me like you do. There's always another force that's present when I'm present. You already know who that force is. Everybody doesn't pray to me like you pray to me. Everybody doesn't worship me like you worship me. Everybody doesn't fear me like you fear me. So as long as man has another choice, good things will always happen. Bad things will always happen to good people. God says the just will suffer with the unjust. When a person is in exile, the new empire changes their name. It strips you of your history and convinces you that your history never mattered. And makes sure that all you will learn, if anything, is the history of that particular empire. It breaks up your family and tries to take away your faith by trying to convince you that their gods are more powerful than yours. When the Babylonian Empire did those things and more to the African descended Israelites who were in exile in 586 BC, one way the Israelites responded was the writing and singing of songs, like the one our text comes from this morning. When the empire of the United States was still young and already hypocritical, it did those things and much more to the African exiles who were being shipped to their shores starting in 1619. And one way those Africans responded was the writing and singing of spirituals. The spirituals arose out of the black response to enslavement in the United States. Not only in terms of subversive and often coded lyrics, but also in the very circumstance of their creation and development. The songs, almost always accompanied by ritual movement, rhythm, and dance, brought together biblical language, African religious values, and New World experiences of struggle. These spirituals are transforming and transformational music because their principal aim has been to evoke the presence of God's Spirit in the midst of an unbearable situation. To create the space for the sacred to enter and engage with the people present so that the Spirit is felt, experienced, and relished, even through back-breaking danger, toils, and snares. That experience of the Spirit is most important because one of the most powerful uses of spirituals within the enslaved community was as a balm offered to help ease one another's pain. Spirituals were songs created as leverage, as a salve, as a voice, as a bridge over troubled waters that no one can endure without the reassurance of a song and singing and God and grace. The spirituals speak life and death, suffering and sorrow, love and judgment, grace and hope, justice and mercy. There are songs of an unhappy people, yet they are some of the most beautiful expressions of human experience ever recorded because even in slavery, music permeated every fabric of African life. As they interpreted Bible stories through the lens of their own oppression, enslaved people began to form a distinctive understanding of Christianity, that emphasized the biblical values of freedom and justice. These spirituals hold generations of trauma and transcendence in their tones because they were a way of enslaved Africans to adapt to their new way of life in a traumatic new way of life that's centered around the expectation of being a slave and having no rights. You know, it bothers me nowadays when people say that the very Bible that was used to enslave us, we use it to worship God today. But if you know anything about the Bible, you know that the Bible is an African book. A Bible is a book that originated in Africa. So you can't say that the Bible is a white man's book that was used to enslave us. No, what people have a tendency to do, just like the slave owners did, what people have a tendency to do, they take the Bible and they turn it and twist it to fit whatever they got going on. They take the Bible and they turn it and twist it to fit their own agenda. And that's a dangerous thing to do. Because Jesus said even he didn't come to change the word of God, but to add fulfillment to it. So when they say that we're taking a white folks Bible and we're using it to worship a God that they use to oppress us, those people let me know that you know nothing about the Bible. Because the Bible is an African book. And the Bible was written, its origins are from Africa. And if you read the Bible covers all generations, all races, all creeds, all walks of life. And it's a dangerous thing to take the Bible and twist it and turn it to fit your own agenda. We have a tendency to do that today. One way I hear people doing it all the time, they say money is the root of all evil. But if you read the Bible, it says for the love of money is the root of all evil. That's why you got to be read up and prayed up when you come up here. Because if you don't know the Bible for yourself, if I'm up here not telling the truth, you wouldn't know it. So you got to be prayed up and read up before you come to church. See, worship service, and I tell people all the time, worship service is for you to come and worship God. You get a little bit of teaching from church service, but worship service is you get out what you bring to it. What we have a tendency to do, we have a tendency to come to church on Sunday morning and sit down and say, here I am, entertain me. But that's not what worship service is all about. You get out of worship service what you bring to it. You get your teaching when you come to Sunday school, when you come to Bible class. Now, like I said, you get a little teaching from the preaching, but worship service is for you to come and worship God. So you know people that bounce around from church to church saying my soul ain't getting fed. I ain't getting nothing out of that church. Stop and ask me what you're taking with you when you go. Because I've learned in my 37 years you can praise God anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Like I said before, you can be riding down the road in your car and you're crying and people looking at you thinking you're crazy. But all you got to do is take a retrospective look at where he's brought you from. Like the song said, you never do anything else for me. You've already done enough. If you get back to thinking, Lord, if you just cut your blessings off right now, you've already blessed me so much I can't thank you enough for it. If you never do anything else for me, you've already done enough. That's the God I serve. I don't have to bounce around from church house to church house because wherever I go, I take him with me. When I go to work, I take him with me. When I go to the gym, I take him with me. Anywhere I go, I take him with me. When I come to worship service, I take him with me. So I never say I get nothing out of worship service because I brought him with me when I came. That's what worship service is all about. And I don't mean to get on my soapbox, but I think I just had to say it. Because too many of us come in here and we sit down and we go to churches and we sit down and we expect a show. Now the show should start with you. You should bring him with you. So I don't like it when people say we use white folks, the Bible that they use to oppress us, we're using the same Bible to serve God. That's not the Bible that I read. I read the Bible that says you believe in God and confess him with your mouth, thou shalt be saved. Whether you're white, black, blue, or brown, if you confess it and you believe, thou shalt be saved. That's the Bible I read. I don't know, I can't speak for nobody but them. That's the Bible I read, and that's the Bible I teach my children. But like I said, that's what worship service is all about. It's about what you bring in with you. It's about what you come through the doors with. And if your soul ain't getting fed, try going to somebody's Bible class. Try going to somebody's Sunday school. And you'll have a different outlook. This expectation, which was violently enforced, was in direct opposition with the Africans' own sense of who they actually were, which were children of the supreme God, the Creator. It has been suggested by prominent theologians and scholars of religion that the meaning of black religion across the Americas emerges from this tension and from the process of wrestling with the question of how to stay human while living in an inhumane situation. In other words, how can we sing a song to the Lord in a foreign land? There was recognition that being black in America was essentially a religious task. It was all about constantly finding new ways to hold on to God's unchanging hands in the midst of a constantly hostile environment. Put another way, for people of African descent in the Americas, Both during slavery and in its long aftermath, religion becomes the means by which one remembers and cultivates an understanding of one's humanity despite what society teaches you, and in the face of constant opposition and the denial of basic human rights that come with being human. In other words, we as black folk have come up against so much stuff. We've been oppressed, not only by white folk, we oppress each other. You might as well call it like we say. We oppress each other. If you want it, if you never. One thing I found out, and I gotta say it, there's nothing worse than a rotten Negro. In my 37 years, there is nothing worse than a rotten Negro. A rotten Negro would do you any kind of way. A rotten Negro don't care if they hurt you, themselves, or anybody else, as long as they get what they want. Now, I had to look around and make sure it was just us in here before I said that. But ain't nothing worse than a rotten Negro. A rotten Negro will kill you as sure as they look at you. Nothing worse. Meaning we do each other worse than anybody else can do us in the history of America. We do each other worse. We ended up over here by our own hand. And when we got over here, we didn't make things better for ourselves. And we do the same thing today. We do the same things today. So many of my family have called me since I've been up there at Coldwater and said, do you have jobs? Yes, I have jobs, but I don't know if I want to hire you. I ain't ashamed to say I don't know if I, because what you gonna do, just because you secure to me, you gonna think you can be an hour late for work. You gonna think you can come in here and do whatever you want to do, and I'm gonna fire you just like I do anybody else. And then there's gonna be tension in the family. I'm gonna get phone calls. Why did you fire your auntie? Because my auntie wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. Like I said, we treat each other worse than anybody else could ever treat us. That's what we do. But like I said, ain't nothing worse than a rotten Negro. Now some of you ain't gonna remember nothing I said but that. But that's fine. Some of you gonna go out and say, Eugene said ain't nothing worse than a rotten Negro, but it is what it is. And if you don't believe me, you might want to check yourself, see if you're right. And some of you, that's all you gonna remember, but that's fine. That's fine. At least you got something to take back with you. So how do we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? Even in Babylon, the people of God can sing. There's no reason why the aggressiveness of American life should mute our voices and pluck the song of faith from our hearts. The faithful always sing songs to the Lord in a strange land. They have no other song. There's no alternative song. Faith must always sing his song in the midst of strangers. If Jesus could sing a hymn with his disciples on the night of his betrayal and arrest, if Paul and Silas could sing at midnight in a jail at Philippi, if Negro slaves could sing under the lash of cruel servitude, if John Newton could pen the words to Amazing Grace while in the middle of a slave trade, then the faithful can sing in any situation, hostile or not. The songs of faith come from the inside out, not from the outside in. So how do we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? You sing it loudly, you sing it faithfully, and you sing it with confidence, knowing that the Lord is present and his power is right beside you. Because no matter your fears and no matter your tears, the presence and the power of the Lord is always right beside you. And you're always ready to put music to it. Our ancestors realized that Jesus had great compassion and alliance with suffering people. They figured out that Jesus knew all about their troubles. The same Jesus who was rebuked and scorned, beaten and bruised, tortured and terrified. The same Jesus who forgave the sins behind the institution of slavery. The same Jesus that came down through 42 generations. The same Jesus that was born in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes. The same Jesus that tabernacled here for 33 and a half years, doing nothing but good, giving sight to the blind, loosing stammering tongues, unstopping deaf ears. The same Jesus who was arrested one Thursday night, marched from judgment hall to judgment hall, tried in an unjust court. Well, why do you say it was an unjust court, Lambert? Well, because they had court at midnight. Every courthouse I know closes at 5 o'clock. So he was marched from judgment hall to judgment hall, tried in an unjust court. But they found him guilty of love in the first degree. This same Jesus that on early Friday morning was led up to Golgotha's hill with a cross yours. It said, into thy hands I command my spirit. This same Jesus that was put in another man's tomb. This same Jesus that stayed there all night Friday night, all day Saturday night. This same Jesus that got up early Sunday morning with all power in his hands. Holy Ghost power, wonder-working power, soul-saving power, power to see when you're in a strange land, power to see when people do you wrong, power to see when people lie on you, power to see when people scandalize your name, power to see when people drag your name through the mud, power to see when you find yourself in unwanted situations, power to see when you have more money than you have money, power to see when family turns their back on you, power to see when three friends walk away from you, power to see when they're acting a fool with you on your job, power to see when your children just can't get it right, power to see when your husband won't come home, power to see when your wife won't cook you nothing, power to see when it seems like everything is going wrong. The same Jesus that gives you the power to sing in a foreign land. This same Jesus who will come see about you in the midnight hour. This same Jesus when your body is racking in pain, he'll come rock you to sleep. This same Jesus when you think you're walking by yourself, he's all right there right beside you. This same Jesus who never left you alone. This same Jesus who comes and see about you when you think nobody cares about you. This same Jesus. God, forgive me, forgive me. If you ever been through something, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever been through something, you know what I'm talking about. Jesus will come see about you. This same Jesus. If you ever been lied on, you know what I'm talking about. This same Jesus. I done found myself having to feed mouths that done lied on me. I done found myself having to pray for people that prayed for my downfall. This same Jesus will give you the strength to do it. This same Jesus, I found out, will take that spirit of vengeance out of you and put a spirit of love in you. This same Jesus now. Like I said, if you hadn't been through nothing, just keep living. You understand what I'm talking about. This same Jesus now. This same Jesus when you got 2 or 3 cutoff notice and your life is still on. This same Jesus. I remember when I was in college, they called me in the business office. They said, Mr. Lamberth, your bill had been paid. I said, yes, ma'am, I know. She said, well, you act like you're unconcerned about it. I said, ma'am, I'm not unconcerned, but I know when you pray and you give it to God, what I need to worry about it for. I don't need to worry about it. If I pray and I give it to God, I don't need to worry about it. I didn't have a dime. Mama didn't have a dime. But I get a call, so Mr. Lamberth, your tuition has been paid in full. I get another call from this church, and never heard of the church before. Said, can you meet us at a parking lot? Can you meet us at Big Star parking lot? Yes, I can meet you. White folks gave me a check that paid for your school. Never met them before. Never. And you know what? Until this day, I've never seen them again. But that's how God works. God said he prepared a fish for Jonah. Meaning there's probably never a fish like that before and never a fish like that again. But God will prepare a way for you. People say all the time, it's about who you know when it comes to getting a job. Well, you got to know somebody to get in there. But I found out if you know God, God will connect you with who you need to know. God will put you in a position with who you need to know. I was at a job, I was down there working in cars there, and I kept saying, Lord, I need to get away from down here. Lord, I'm tired of driving down here. Lord, I need to get away. And somebody told me, you know what? Why don't you just bloom when you're planted? Why don't you just do the job that he's assigned you while you're down there? And when he's ready for you to move, you'll move. And I took that attitude. I said, you know what? You're right. I said, God, I thank you for even having a job. Because there's some people that don't even have a job. So when I got that spirit of complaining out of me, got that spirit of gratitude in me, I said, Lord, I thank you. And Lord, when you're ready, I know you'll move. And the other teachers will come to me and they say, Lamberth, where you going to be at next year? I said, I don't know, but I know I ain't going to be here. I said, God already showed me he's going to move me, but he's going to move me when he gets ready to move me. And I'm driving down the road one day and I get a call from Tate County School District. I've heard of Tate County, but never even thought that I would be working as principal at Coldwater High. I get a call and they said, we're making a new position for principal of Coldwater High School. Would you be interested in the job? A job I didn't even apply for. A job I've never even heard of. But they say we are making a position. Would you be interested in the job? I said, if you serve God, God will put you with who you need to be with. And I get there, and I do the interview. And they call me back and say, well, Mr. Lamberth, would you like to come interview for Coldwater High? I said, I thought that's what I was doing in the first place. They said, no, we were interviewing you for an assistant principal job, but that principal said he wants you, but he know they need you at Coldwater. Do you want that job? Yes, I want that job. They said, because this is a position we've never had before, but we're making it. And they heard about me. I never heard about them, but they heard about me. That's how God works. That's how God works. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that, and I said it a little while back. When God does something, don't worry about how he did it. Because if you get to worrying about the how, God will reveal some things to you. If you worry about the how, you will see that some people that you thought were for you wasn't for you. And you will see that some people that you thought were stabbing you in the back were all along pushing you forward and helping you out. So when God does something for you, don't worry about the how. Like the old folks say, just as much obliged and keep going. Just say thank you. Like I said, I didn't mean to go this way today, but that's the way it is, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I found out when you're on your bed and you laying on your back in a hospital bed and you're looking up and you can't move and you want to go home and you can't go home. I found out when God sits you down, God starts speaking to you. When you be still, then you can listen to him. When he sits you down, you can listen to him. And God will speak to you. God said, don't take nothing for granted. And people come in there, ooh, you look like you're healthy. I don't know why you in here. And I'm like, on your wellest day, you sick enough to die. Don't worry about how I look. Don't worry about all of this. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And when you sit down, God starts speaking to you. You better take care of yourself. You better say thank you for everything. You better not take nothing for granted. Because just like that, life is but a vapor. Just like that, you can be gone. So don't take nothing for granted. Like I said, when you find yourself in a strange situation, when you find yourself in a foreign land and you're wondering how you can sing, just think about Jesus. Jesus makes it possible for you to do any and everything you want to do. When you find yourself in a bad situation and you think you can't serve God, you think you can't praise God, just remember, open your mouth and just say thank you. Thank you, Lord, for things as being as well as they are. Thank you, Lord, for being God. And I guarantee you, God is the kind of God, the more you tell him thank you, the more he'll want to do for you. May God bless you. May God keep you.